bolt disassembly of the Mosin Nagant bolts is very easy. There's 6 major parts, and we're going to break them down. There's the bolt head and extractor, bolt connector and guide bar, firing pin spring, bolt, and cocking piece. The only thing you're going to need is this multi-tool that comes in the toolkits for all the Mosin Nagants. The first thing you're going to do is pull back on the cocking piece, but make sure that it stays connected to the guide bar, and you're going to turn it this way. Turn it counterclockwise. There, you've decocked it. Very simple. You got your bolt head and extractor, slides right off. This groove matches up with a little bump there, and you can pull it right off. Then you're going to pull off your bolt connector and guide bar. Now for this next step, you're going to use this last notch right here on the multi-tool. You're going to match it up on the firing pin. You're going to press down, and all you're going to do is turn. And you're just going to keep turning. Whoops. Just turning. There it pops out. You got your firing pin spring, your firing pin, your cocking piece, and your bolt. You've got your 6 major pieces. All we're going to do is, whoops, I have some hot soapy water. We're going to put them right in. Let them soak in there a minute. Once you get them soaked a little bit, all you're going to do is dry them off. Pull each piece out one at a time. Wipe them down really good. Make sure you've got all the corrosive material off them if you're firing the corrosive ammunition, which I highly recommend, by the way, because it costs. There's nothing wrong with corrosive ammunition as long as you remember that you really need to clean the rifle within a day of when you used it, which I think most of us do with all our rifles anyway. Now, if you're a lazy person and you don't like to clean your guns, you're probably better off not shooting the corrosive ammunition. But for cost effectiveness, you can't beat the corrosive ammunition. All I'm doing is blowing out all the hollow spots on these. To put them back together, you're just going to put your firing pin and your firing pin spring back together. You're going to slide those back through your bolt. Make sure you got your cocking piece on sideways the way that you had it. And you're going to, again, match up this multi-tool just in the right spot. You're going to push down, and this time you're going to turn clockwise, and you only need to do a couple of turns to make sure that it's in place, and then you're going to, it's very easy to put it back on. And you're going to look in the back here, in the back of the cocking piece, and these should be matched up flush and just about even with there's usually 2 little notches right here, and the flathead part of the screw should match up nice and evenly. We're going to slide our guide bar back on, just right over here. Make sure you get your connector, bolt connector and guide bar. Make sure you slide that right over that little piece on the cocking piece. Remember this little groove here, whoops, because that is going to go over that little bump in here. And then that should turn and lock right into place. And all we're going to do is pull back on this and turn it back over, making sure that the guide bar stays with it. And you have disassembled, cleaned, and reassembled your Mosin Nagant bolt. Just that easy.